Welcome friends, it's Gisa from Butterfly Garden. Thanks for joining us for our read aloud today. The story is called The Arabic Quilt, an Immigrant Story, written by Aya Khalil and illustrated by Anait Semirdzhyan. Kanzi Habibti, you're going to be late to the first day of school, Mama calls. I'm coming, Mama. Kanzi stuffs her notebook into her backpack and quickly but carefully folds her quilt, the special one Teita made in Egypt. Breakfast is delicious. Egyptian fava beans, homemade French toast, and watermelon with feta cheese and mint. Zachariah has watermelon juice dripping down his skin. He looks happy. I packed your favorite lunch for you, a kofta sandwich, Baba exclaims. Shukran, Baba, Kanzi says, but secretly wishes her Baba would pack her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead. Her family has just moved to this town, and she doesn't know anyone. She doesn't want to be different. In the car, Mama sings along with the songs on the Arabic radio channel. When they pull up to the school, Kanzi turns down the radio volume. Mama gives her a confused look. Good luck today, Mama says. Bahibek. I love you too, Kanzi responds. In class, Mrs. Hogan asks all the students to share 3 facts about themselves. When it is Kanzi's turn, she says bravely, I am Egyptian American. I love to swim. I love to write poetry. Then she sits, looking down at her desk. At lunchtime, Kanzi is surprised when Mama walks through the door. Habibti, you forgot your lunchbox. Habibti? Like the Hobbit? Isn't your name Kanzi? Molly snickers. Her classmates laugh with her as they walk to the cafeteria. Mrs. Hogan sees tears rolling down Kanzi's cheeks. What's wrong? She asks. Molly made fun of what my mama said, Kanzi replies. That night, as Mama puts leftover Schubert ads in Kanzi's lunchbox, Kanzi gently pats Mama's back. Can you please pack me a turkey sandwich instead? Before bed, Kanzi writes a poem as she hugs her quilt, which smells like Teita's home. The next day, Molly says, Mrs. Hogan said I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry I laughed at your mom's language. It sounded funny. It may sound funny to you, but that is only because you don't speak Arabic, Kanzi says. She feels a lump forming in her throat. My parents say that learning different languages makes a person smarter and kinder, she blurts out. Okay, whatever, Molly says, skipping away. Mrs. Hogan calls Kanzi at her desk after lunch. I found this notebook on the floor and it was open to a lovely poem, she says. I was describing my Teita's quilt, Kanzi says. When I visited her in Egypt, she gave it to me. My Teita only speaks Arabic. Mrs. Hogan smiles. That is special. I would love to see your quilt. Can I bring it to school? Kanzi asks. Sure, bring it tomorrow, Mrs. Hogan says. The next day, Kanzi unfolds her quilt in front of the class. Her heart is pounding. This is my quilt that my Teita in Egypt made, she says. That's cool. I want to make a quilt like that, Deshawn says. Maybe we can all make one for our classroom, Claire shouts. Mrs. Hogan nods and smiles. On Friday, Mrs. Hogan makes an announcement. I have an exciting project for all of us to work on. Kanzi's mom is here too to help us make a quilt of all of your names in Arabic. As Mama steps forward, Kanzi thinks how beautiful she looks. Shukran for welcoming me here, Mama says. Kanzi and I will write down your names in Arabic and you will copy your name on your own quilt piece. Molly is not enthusiastic about the project. Who cares about Arabic? We live in America. My mom says we should only speak English. In response, Mrs. Hogan starts writing words on the board. Algebra, coffee, lemon, sugar. Does anyone know what these words have in common? She asks. They come from Arabic words, Kanzi whispers. Mrs. Hogan nods. Learning other languages besides the one we grew up with helps make the world a friendlier place. We can speak non-English languages and still be American. I wonder what my name looks like in Arabic, Brianna says. Kanzi and Mama write down everyone's name. Neat, shukran, Amina exclaims. Everyone copies their Arabic names onto sheets of colored paper. Then they decorate their papers with glitter and jewels and place them on the table for the glue to dry. On Monday morning, you will see a beautiful class quilt hanging in the hall, Mrs. Hogan tells them. Kanzi is nervous when the bell rings on Monday morning and the kids file into school. What if the quilt didn't turn out nicely? The quilt hangs on the bulletin board outside Mrs. Hogan's classroom. The colorful papers with their Arabic names have been cut into different shapes and sizes, and all the pieces are stapled together. Kanzi stands in awe, reading names in Arabic. Claire, Leah, Molly, Ivy, Jack, Lucas, Brianna, Cheng, Deshawn, Sam, Angela, Lily, Amina. Teachers and older students stop to look at the names, trying to figure out whose name is whose. Wow, look at those beautiful letters. They're like drawings, they say. That was a really cool project, Kanzi. Shukran, Kanzi's classmates tell her. I'm sorry I made fun of you, says Molly. I didn't realize how important a different language is. Can you write my mom's name in Arabic? I want to give it to her as a gift. Okay, Kanzi says. Do you want to go swimming soon? I'd love to, Kanzi nods as Molly hugs her. Leaving class a week later, Kanzi stops to look at the Arabic quilt one last time. Right across from it, she is surprised to see another collage of names in a language she doesn't recognize. Those are my classmates' names in Japanese, Kura says. Our teacher was inspired by your classroom's idea, and she asked me to help write everyone's name in Japanese. Aren't languages a beautiful thing? They can truly unite us. Kanzi smiles in agreement. In her room that night, Kanzi holds Teita's quilt tightly as she writes a poem for her parents. Shukran, Mama and Baba, for always encouraging me to be proud of speaking a different language and speaking it out loud. Languages can unite us together, like a quilt, so I will always speak my languages without guilt. I will never be ashamed to speak in this language that is so unique. Bahibek, Mama. Bahibak, Baba. That's the end of our story. I love that story because I love that the children realized that speaking another language is really cool. And so I hope that you will explore languages and learn maybe another language. Maybe learn some words from friends who speak another language. I grew up speaking Italian, and it was a time when that wasn't really embraced in our culture. Speaking English was what most immigrant parents were told they needed to teach their kids. And so now we know how important it is to keep our mother tongues and to keep those first languages that we learn from our parents who are from other countries. So I encourage you to learn a new language, learn words from other languages, and get to know your friends who are from other countries. Thank you for watching today. If you'd like to support us and hear more stories, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel.